Good morning. It's time to have a look at the Everest, and I'm Gary Robinson for www.horseracingaustralia.info. First of all, we're going to analyse the race, and in doing this, we're going to look at the fastest last 600 times of all the runners in the race. I've deliberately taken out those horses which are the emergencies because it's most unlikely any of them will get a start. So let's have a look now and look at the race itself. So here we are. We're starting off, it's at 4:15, and we're looking at first of all number 3, Red Zell, and look at that, win, 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 win. It all looks very, very good. Our rated price is $5.60, and the best last 600 this horse has run is approximately 32.7, and the problem with that is that the horse is not a true 1200 metre horse. Its best performances have been over less than 1200 metres, and in a field like this where a lot of the horses are a lot better than that, I'm not too sure that that's the way to go. However, let's getting on to this horse, English. Okay, it hasn't won for a little while. Its last start was a brilliant second, coming from so close to last at the turn it doesn't matter, and a little bit disadvantaged, and running the last 600 in 32.4 seconds. That's astounding time. The third horse we're looking at is Deploy. 2 wins from a spell and then deliberately given a let up to freshen the horse up for this. The horse holds the Randwick course record for 1300 metres, and it's a record that stood for a hell of a long time. It's a very good horse, and the interesting thing is it can go quite fast early as well as quite fast late. So on the ratings it's around a $7 chance, and I think you can get around $10. I'll be checking on that a bit later perhaps, but last 600, the best one in recent times is 32.5, so right in the mix. And it's interesting, these ratings that we've got are all based on the horse's best times over between 1100 and 1300 metres. So you can see that, I hate when that message comes up, but there we go. The important thing is what a horse can not only do in its last 600, but what it can do in its first 600. Now, the aim of Terry McAvoy on Red Zell is to try and get up on the pace and hope that it's a reasonably slow pace and use his sprint at the finish, which is the 32.7, to get him home. However, we can see that may not be the case. And I don't see those horses going particularly slow in the first 600 anyway. Clearly Innocent. Certainly a very, very good horse. Has been winner second up. Won a couple of good races there. Ran a nice third first up. Ran a 32.8 the last 600. And then Fell Swoop, who's clearly out of form, totally out of form, but on his best would be a chance in this. I don't really see it as a chance tomorrow, but has run as fast as 32.9. Now we come to Chautauqua. I've rated it a $14 chance. And you can see that the very fastest 600 that was ever run was as a 5-year-old that ran a 31.8. However, its recent sectional times haven't been anywhere near that. And one has to wonder, if it doesn't get away with them, is it going to be a serious chance in this with so many horses that can do so many great last start times. And it is a 7-year-old now, that's the important thing. Red Kirk Warrior, same deal. Ran a 32.4 as a 6-year-old, maybe not up to that now. So that's why you can see that the rated price is getting out at the 33.1. And Vega Magic. Sometimes horses can win and win and win without having to do a lot because they break the hearts of the other horses by the way they run. Vega Magic will certainly be on the pace, but the best last 600 I can see is around a 33.7. which is not good enough to win this race unless you've torn off with a 31. Okay. Now we've got Tulip, which I believe has got no chance at all. I think the stable had to put it in because it had a slot. It's put it in. 34.7 is its best time. It would be a miracle if that were to win based on those times. And Hootson was the early favourite, the Golden Slipper. As a 2-year-old, ran a 33.2. which is not good enough to win this, even though it did have a win last start at Moonee Valley. I wasn't convinced by that. Brave Smash, which is the horse that was trained in Japan, has come over here. has had 3 runs. Hasn't done a lot in those 3 runs. It did sneak home in a race 2 starts ago. The best last 600 it's had over here is about a 34. Not good enough to win this. And finally, She Will Run, one of the favourites. Now, the recent time at Moonee Valley when she won, she was well back, but the finishing times weren't that great, even though she came from well back and is obviously a very good horse. Ran 32 for the last 600 as a 2-year-old at Kembla. A 32. As you can see, there's virtually nothing here that can do that. And in some of her wins, she's come from absolute tail of the field, but also some of those wins have been on soft tracks, which we won't get on Saturday. So that's the overall impression of the race, based on their last 600 finishing times. So that's going to have a lot to do with what the pace is in the race. Now, we've used the pictorial representation in GTX, and this shows us what the GTX program, based on the win form ratings that we're using in there, is going to produce. Here we go. There we go. That's the race as I've assessed it. You can see this group here. I do believe that Fell Swoop is not good enough to be in there, and I do believe that Red Zell is not as strong over the 1200 as some of these other horses. So here we go. Deploy, English, Clearly Innocent. I do believe one of those 3 should win the race. A couple of the others, like She Will Reign, is a bit of an unknown in regards to what it'll do on a firm, hard track, which it should get on Saturday, and with giving these sorts of horses a start. We also have a consensus rating of a combination of various rating plans and statistics. We call it our Horse Racing Today plan, and the pictorial representation of this one, here it is. Bunches them right together, but it's interesting to put She Will Reign there based on the number of wins it's had. Same with Vega Magic because of all the wins. Deploy is the one that is right up there the same. And Clearly Innocent. It has them pretty close together. This is a good field. I do wish you good luck on Saturday. So that's the Everest. Let's have a look. Thanks for watching.